I'm telling you, it reached a point. Addiction can make you reach places you never thought you'd reach. Not even ground floor, basement. It reached a point my parents would come for me in my drinking places because I'm unable to go home. I've used all my money. So I call them. I'm like, Mom and Dad, I'm stuck at this place. I can't leave because I'm not paid. They come, they pay, they take me home. After 1 week, I go back to work. When I go back to work, they've paid me. I do the same behavior of running away.
It made me to lose so many things. I lost my first wife. I lost jobs. I was a police officer at some point. I lost that job because of drug addiction. I've lost so many things. If I can count, there are so many. Even my health, I was also on the verge of almost taking my life.
Picture this. You have a child and they get hooked into a habit of playing games of chances online. In the long run, they lose millions of shillings, not 2 or even 5, more than that. Let's listen to this story and how it became a solution to people like her. My name is Kingori Wangeshi. This is my story right here on Tuko. Come with me.
My name is Vivian Boro. I am a chef. I'm currently studying at SAPTA, pursuing chemical dependency and addiction counseling.
Yes. And what is SAPTA?
SAPTA is support for addiction prevention and treatment in Africa.
Wow. That is interesting. You'll tell us about it.
Okay.
You said you're a chef.
Yes.
I like to interview chefs for obvious reasons.
Okay, no problem.
So that is sorted, right?
Yes.
Thank you. We are here because you're a success. You're a successful case study. You tell us about that story. So why are we particularly in this institution?
We are here because I am, as you said, a case study. I was in addiction and I managed to come out of it successfully. Thank you.
Yes. What was it? How did it begin? But what kind of addiction was that?
I was under the influence of alcohol. Yes.
Drinking,
like mad, like crazy.
How many would you down?
I would down around 2 750 mls alone. That's the 1 liter. The one people say it's 1 liter, but it's 750 ml without eating.
Alone. And you feel good.
And I feel very happy. But the outcome of it is it will just go down, then you'll just face your problems at the end of it all. Yes.
How did it begin? Who introduced you to drinking?
I would say my friends. The moment I finished high school in 2017, I joined university immediately in 2018. So the excitement of wanting to know what is this thing that people call alcohol. You know, you just sit in the bars, you're like, usiwai jaribu, but you know, as a curious child, you want to find out.
Not for sale to persons under the age of 18.
I am now 18. I want to know. So we would, after class, we would all come together, do a kamchango, and then we would buy the bottle and each one of us would take a sip or two. Yeah.
That is how you got introduced into it.
Yes.
Do you remember the first day that you got drunk?
Yes, I do. I've never. What happened was, I had a really bad day. So people were like, let's go play PlayStation while we drink. I was like, I'm not supposed to drink. You know, my dad told me it's not good. Then they're like, no, just try it. Kidogo won't harm you. So I tried and I vomited. It was bitter. I couldn't understand what people liked about it. But it was so bitter. But the feeling it gave me, kwanza the spinning effect, it was so exciting. Yeah.
For an 18-year-old.
It was so exciting. I was like, wow, this is why I was not staggering, but the feeling of the spinning of the head, it was marvelous. At that time, it was marvelous. Yeah.
At what point did it now become a problem?
It started in 2020 during COVID time.
So before you get to 2020, how was that journey? Now from 2018, did you become accustomed to it?
Not really. because during holiday you're not with your friends. So you will not drink as much. And then, money was also an issue. So your parent just gives you that small one, that kidogo one, you use it. So I was not really into it that much because it was actually expensive. Until now, we found ourselves in. Now I found myself in 2020. Yeah. So in 2020, it was during COVID times. I was so bored. You're not meeting your friends, you're in the house. And at that time, I was already gotten an attachment. So imagine you're straight from high school, you're being given good money, you don't know where to take it. So I think I felt excited. I was like, let me just buy. I started with maybe the ciders, 4%. It was not giving me that effect as fast as these other brands. So I started putting alcohol in the bottle, then I drink in my bedroom, slowly by slowly. Then I got used to it, slowly by slowly. I used to find myself, I have a headache. And then when you ask your friends, hey, what's the solution? They're like, endo lock. That's how I came to know that name, endo lock. Then you go drink again. Then I found myself dependent on it. I couldn't even sleep without drinking. I couldn't function without drinking. And then the problem was you're drinking alone.
Okay. And at this point, your parents don't know that you're drinking?
My mom started realizing it. I would have, whenever I drink, I used to have slurred speech. So my mom was like, why are you speaking like that? So my mom noticed I was drinking. She's like, yeah, I understand this is the age for drinking, but reduce it. She didn't tell me to stop. She just told me, reduce it, do it once, like the way other people do it. I did stop, like for 1 or 2 months. But the withdrawals were crazy.
Now, what do you mean by withdrawals? Because there are people who are watching, they don't understand these terms.
So withdrawals mean when you're not under that substance, the effect it has on your body, the headaches, the tremors, sometimes you're unable to sleep, you sweat, those are the withdrawal symptoms. They got severe to a point I couldn't take it anymore. Kwanza, the anxiety, you're like, I can't take it anymore, I want to drink. I went back to drinking. But this time I went back very hard. It's like I was compensating for all those times I wasn't drinking. Yeah.
So is that the point where you realize now this is actually a problem and I need help?
No. So when I finished my attachment, I got a job at Symmetria. They were also paying me well. So I would find, now you're no longer with the friends you used to be in campus.
Now you've upgraded.
You've upgraded your friends. But the problem was you're not upgrading the brand. You're still drinking these cheap liquors because that's what your body has been accustomed to. There were times, because of my addiction, I never used to come home. I would switch off my phone, run away from home for 2 weeks. Yeah.
And you haven't told anyone?
I've not told anyone
where
I was. At that time, I think that's when my depression kicked in completely.
Where were you going for those 2 weeks?
I was going to my friend's place. People who have their parents are not home. Their parents have traveled maybe abroad or they live abroad. They're like, you can come over. I pack my things, or sometimes I don't even pack. I go, the way I'm dressed, I go. I stay in bed for 2 weeks, but I'm still drinking. When I'm about, it goes down, I remember, oh my God, I've left my parents in a bad state. I'm such a bad child. I've not been supporting them. I go back to the wines and spirit, I drink so that I can forget those thoughts. I'm telling you, it reached a point. Addiction can make you reach places you never thought you'd reach. Not even ground floor, basement. It reached a point my parents would come for me in my drinking places because I'm unable to go home. I've used all my money. So I call them. I'm like, Mom and Dad, I'm stuck at this place. I can't leave because I'm not paid. They come, they pay, they take me home. After 1 week, I go back to work. When I go back to work, they've paid me. I do the same behavior of running away. And to be honest, I was running away because of the fear of the disappointment I've shown my parents. So you are fearful, they will scold you for drinking. So you run away. That was my solution. Yeah.
And I want to get to the point where somebody had to come and save you from this misery.
I would say my parents. My parents sat me down one day and asked me, because you cannot share with us, can you share with somebody else? So I went to a place in Kawira. I saw a psychologist. They told me, this is not only alcohol. You have a mental underlying issue. We need to find out. So that time they took me to get my tests done. Can you imagine, at my age, I had jaundice. I was yellow. I couldn't even apply oil. And then my liver had reached to a point, it's not producing a certain chemical. So my parents got worried. They were like, now this has become serious. So they had to come and save me. And also in some way, when I was told, your liver is starting to get damaged, I got scared. I'm like, I don't want to die like this. God, give me a solution. So the psychologist referred us to the rehab. But those tests were being done at Mathare. Let me tell you a funny story now.
Yes.
When they were being done at Mathare, I thought I'll be taken to Mathare. And then, if they've stereotyped Mathare, it's for crazy people, I ran away again.
You don't want to, you want a solution,
but I don't
looking
want
at where
the
solution coming from.
They're giving me. Then, that time at least I was communicating with them. And I told them, promise me you won't take me to Mathare. I said, I won't take you. That's how now we are connected by that doctor to Tony. You'll meet him.
Yes.
So I was taken for shopping. And then I was told, now you're going to rehab. It's not a bad place. It's your new home. It will help you discover things about yourself. So I went to the rehab. I was inducted very well. And the good thing is they let you see one of the best psychiatrists. So they're able to diagnose you to find out what's the problem, the underlying issue, what's the actual problem. Yeah.
How did you take it when you came? Is it here? Did you come here?
Yeah.
The first few days, interaction with other people, because I believe there were other people.
Yeah.
How was it?
The detox was the challenging part because it's like they're adding vitamins to your body, the ones that you lost. The withdrawal, I used to get very bad withdrawal. I would vomit. I was so confused. I was like, I've made the wrong decision. I don't want to be here. This place is like hell. How am I going to survive for 3 months here? But imagine once you accept that this is your new path, it becomes easy. In relation to others, at first it's very hard to relate with people because you're new, you understand? But once each one of them shares their story and you realize, oh, I was not even alone in this whole thing.
Now, you were here, you had accepted the fact that you want to change. And of course, you're not going to Mathare referral. This is a different place. Had you openly accepted to be here?
At first, I thought it's just easy. It's going to be easy. It's just, 3 months staying somewhere. But once I was explained to, like, the depth at which I was in, I openly accepted. The pit I was in, I needed help. I openly accepted to be here. Yeah.
3 months down the line.
3 months down the line, my skin is back and glowing.
Wow.
I've gone back to my weight. My weight was okay. I was eating okay. Now the challenge comes in when you leave that door. there are 3 things you're usually taught to avoid: people, places, and things that can trigger you to relapsing. Because the worst thing about relapsing is you go back 2 times worse than where you were. Friends will start asking, where did you go? Oh, you look nice. You're happy they're telling you look nice, but you know the dangers that are waiting for you outside. I really found it difficult to have such company because it was a very big trigger for me. Yeah.
Were there temptations?
I won't lie, there were. I was like, maybe because I've stayed for 3 months without drinking, if I drink now, it won't have the same effects. And then I remember I stayed there for 3 months.
Because of drinking?
Because of drinking. And I know what I want. So there's no way I'll go back.
Because you know the effects, how your skin looked like before you came for rehabilitation, and now you are out. Of course, your company, I mean your friends, are telling you, come, let's have 1, 2. How are you managing that?
Aftercare. Aftercare is when you come back to the rehab you are in, so that can follow up on you. So whenever you notice it's Friday, that's the day you decide to go for aftercare, to avoid having that moment with them. And aftercare is actually very important for addicts because it shows that even though you're not part of the rehab program, you are still with them in that journey. Because one thing I know, healing takes patience and grace. It's not, I won't lie to my people watching that after 3 months you'll have healed from everything, you won't go back to drinking. No, you might find yourself relapsing. Like personally, I did relapse once and I felt really, really bad. I went back for aftercare at Tony's place and he advised me and I felt much more better. I left feeling like it's okay. It's okay to be in that state, but don't let yourself go back there again. Yeah.
And how was your relationship with your parents after leaving rehabilitation?
Trust was broken. They won't trust you. That's the truth. And you have to understand, because you had put them in a state where they're scared for your safety, for your security. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is usually have family therapy. So your family comes, and then you're brought, you discuss together with a counselor the things that they went through, how are you going to be able to come out of it, and how will they support you when you leave rehab. Yeah.
So you said that trust was broken. It hasn't been mended.
It has. It has. But it took time.
Just take us through that journey.
So there are times you can't even leave the house to just go for a walk. They'll be like, you're going back to drinking. Sometimes you're just saying hi to people. Hi. They're like, oh, those are the people you used to drink with. Then they condemn all the friends that you used to have. And most of them, some of them are not drinking. Some of them are trying to help you come out of it. But slowly by slowly, you start building trust. You become more present. Like right now, I didn't have a job. So I used to go with my mom to her workplace to show her that I'm really trying my best to change. Even like right now here, I am their chef. It has opened a lot of opportunities for me. I'm in Tuko.
Yes.
Yeah, it has opened a lot of opportunities for me. Yeah.
Do you speak to the people your age, your friends? Do you know where they are? Did they stop? Did they become like you? I mean, the one who was addicted to drinking, or how do you now relate with the rest of the society?
Funny enough, because of the course that I'm doing, most people I attract are people suffering from addiction and they want to come out of it. So they're like, how were you able to do this? What were you able to do about withdrawals? So I try my best to talk to them because I don't want anyone to go through what I went through, and also their parents to not go through what they went through with me. Yeah.
And you mentioned something about stigmatization of the people who leave rehabs. How is it out there? What did you experience?
It's not easy. They think ni kuacha tu, like you will just leave it. If I can leave it, why can't you leave it? So they find as if you're defeated. You are unable to fight that thing, but they should know addiction is actually a very serious thing. It's not a joke, and you never know you're in it. That's the problem now. It comes with stigmatization too, because people wonder, why were you not able to do it? Why were you not able to talk to someone about it? So I felt like I was stigmatized. I felt like even sharing my story, people would judge me. They're like, wow, this beautiful girl was drinking. Kwani, what was she going through? She couldn't talk to someone. Yeah, things like that.
And you see it with other people who are in your situation,
Yes.
a place like you are.
Yeah.
So what would you tell the society?
Don't think everyone who's drinking is drinking for fun. There are people going through a lot, and they're using alcohol as a coping mechanism. Number two, God is just wonderful, because God will help you through everything. You might think you're walking alone, but you're not. Family is very important in your support system. If you feel like you're in a bad place, talk to someone. Like I said earlier, there's nothing new under the sun. There's someone who's experienced what you've experienced, but don't use any chemical substance to be able to overcome whatever you're going through. Yes.
And you said, what are you doing currently?
I'm doing chemical dependency and addiction counseling.
So the people who are out there and they have issues, they can get in touch with you?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. They can talk to me. And the good thing is I'm not doing only chemical dependency. Let me explain a bit. I'm doing both addictions. We have behavioral addiction and we have chemical addiction. Chemical is any type of substance, tobacco, bang, alcohol. Behavioral is maybe you're a workaholic and you don't know. That's an addiction.
Stop talking about it.
Yes, workaholism is a behavioral addiction. I can help you come out of it. Gambling is a behavioral addiction. Yes.
Okay. So those are the things that you're dealing with right now.
Yes.
But yourself, at least you have a story. You tell them that I was there and I got out.
Yes.
So it is possible to come out.
It is very possible. Anything under God is possible. And also the will to want to stop is also very important. Because you can't don't think you'll just go to rehab and you don't have the will to stop. If you don't have the will, it's a very useless. It's useless. It won't help you. Yeah.
You know, you talk about behavioral and especially the one workaholics.
Yes.
I have heard stories of people who are in positions of leadership. They are bosses because themselves they are workaholics. The people they work that work under them, they want to influence the same with them. They want them there every other time that they're in the office or they're working. Can you help such people?
Yes, I can. I would want to find out. Maybe it's a displacement issue. Maybe it's also a personality complex issue. Maybe it's just a personality. So you need to find a way to cope around it. Because if you can't change your boss, this is your boss, find a way to cope about it. I'll help you find out how to cope with it. Is there an issue? Are you trying to hide something? You know, people hide things under such addictions. Yeah.
Your email address?
kui.vivimboro@gmail.com.
So Vivi is VIVI.
Yes.
Rerun it.
Which camera? kui.vivimboro@gmail.com.
We'll have it right there.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Vivian.
Thank you for having me.
And it's such an inspirational story.
Yes.
And the courage to share through the challenges that you've gone through and how you overcame. I think it will be a testimony to someone out there.
Okay.
And will also maybe carry their story after hearing that you came out of it. They will also come out of it.
Thank you so much.
Keep going, girl.
Thank you.
And your skin is still glowing.
Thanks. I think it's the camera or something.
No,
It's glowing.
Yes.
It's
You
just a remiss.
You have some presence because when you walked in the room, you brightened the room. Yeah. So you have it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, keep going.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Thank you, Anthony. Before you introduce yourself to the audience, I need to say that Jacinta sent us a message from United States of America.
Yeah.
And told us to come to Kamulu. We will find Anthony.
Yeah.
So who is this Anthony? And what is your relationship with Jacinta?
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I have a very long story, but I'll cut it to a very short story about me and how I came to know Jacinta. First of all, I am a recovering addict myself. I was treated in a very good facility in Kenya, and I'm an addiction counselor by now because I've got an experience, I've been trained, and I've worked in so many places, both in Kenya and abroad. Yeah, so I have a lot of experience. I've worked with the poor for about 6 years. I've worked with street children in the slums of Korogocho. I've also worked with the very rich patients in Karen, people who have been paying about $500,000 per month for treatment, this kind of treatment. So I've got a very big experience in terms of treatment. So how I came to meet Jacinta.
You have not told us your full name.
My full name.
Yes.
Thank you so much for reminding me. So my name is Anthony Jack Chesoli. Anthony Jack Chesoli. I am married to one wife. Yes. A little background about me is that I was born in this posh lifestyle in Mombasa, in the estate of Nyali. So I was raised as a rich kid, but I didn't like that lifestyle. So I found myself going to the ghettos, to the slums. I could mingle with the poor. So I enjoyed staying with the poor, playing games with them, and I would go back to the estate. So that's how I entered into drug addiction. And I struggled with it for, again, 20 years. It made me to lose so many things. I lost my first wife. I lost jobs. I was a police officer at some point. I lost that job because of drug addiction. I've lost so many things. If I can count, there are so many. Even my health, I was also on the verge of almost taking my life. Yeah, but somebody believed in me. This person had a lot of hope in me. I remember he was a priest. He's called Daniel Moschetti. He was an Italian priest. So he's the one who found me in the streets and had a lot of hope with me. He held my hand because he saw a lot of potential in me. That was by the year 2000. So he walked with me and he took me to a rehabilitation center. Yeah.
Now, Jacinta.
Well, in one of my encounters with patients, I happened to meet this young girl in one of the facilities I worked at, and she had a major depressive disorder. So after interacting with this patient, of course, I created the rapport. I started the assessments and the screening, and we started the process of counseling. I came to understand that this young woman had gambled over 10 million shillings.
What?
Over 10 million Kenyan shillings.
Lost to a game of chance.
Exactly. And the parents were so much concerned because now she had gone so low. She was experiencing symptoms such as low self-esteem. She had excessive guilt. She was also could not sleep. The other symptom was she had lost hope in life, like there's no future. She was very sad, and she felt like her case could not be helped. So to be brief, she was just on the verge of taking her own life. Yeah. So that is how, in the process of counseling, I happened to know that this is now the daughter of Jacinta. And in the process of counseling, she did it so well because she wanted to get better. And after the treatment, she has now stayed sober for the last 8 months. She has regained her life. She has gotten a lot of gain. She has grown in terms of family life. She's taken back her responsibilities. She is also very now honest in terms of how she relates to other people, and she's doing well in life. So for me to see somebody who is down, is on the verge of taking his or her own life, to a place where somebody is completely changed, for me that is phenomenal.
It is.
Yeah.
Because the amount of money that you're talking about,
Yeah.
The beginning of this year we did an interview.
Yeah.
But that he was a gentleman, and he had lost about 4 million and 3 vehicles.
Yeah.
And now this has doubled to 10 million.
Exactly.
When a person gets to that point, how do you handle them? As first as family, and then you as a counselor.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not many people do get to where we are. The recent statistics indicate that about 30% of the people who have such problems get into a place we call remission. That is, they stop on their own. Now, we have got about 10% who happen now to get to where we are. They're actually on the verge of taking their life, and they come seeking for help. Either they come voluntarily, or they are brought by force. For lack of a better word, they are brought by force. So that is 10%. Remember that we have got this 60% of people who have such problems but don't get any help. They are out there struggling with these issues, trying to maintain a state of normalcy. Yeah. So for us, when we get this case of the 10%, normally it's either voluntary, either they have brought themselves, or they have been forced by family to seek for help. Yeah.
The things that I have gotten out of the conversations that we've had today,
Yes.
There are those who are struggling with substance abuse.
Exactly.
You have brought about the perspective of game of chances. You're addicted to, staking and putting money, expecting more to come.
Yeah.
So what kind of things, or what kind of addictions or abuses do you deal with?
Well, trained in chemical dependency, that is drug addictions. But there are two types of addictions. There is the substance, and also we have got the behavioral addictions. So you find that people who have substance abuse problems also tend to have an element of behavioral addiction, because all types of addictions affect the same part of the brain. The chemical dependency and even the behavioral addictions, such as gambling, such as sex addiction, and even workaholism, and even exercise addiction. They affect a part we call the midbrain. It is on this part of the brain. These two types of addiction have got a lot of similarities. And also the behavioral addictions tend to propel people to also enter into drug addiction. Like now in this case of the gambling addiction, this young lady had also started taking alcohol because she was feeling very guilty. She wanted to numb her feelings. So that is the only way she could cope.
And how old was she?
She was 31 years old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to cover this addiction of staking or playing these games of chances, now start drinking.
Exactly. Now drinking is an escape, because when somebody plays a game of chances, there are either two things. Either you are going to win or you are going to lose.
That's why it's a game of chance.
Exactly. And in that state, there's a lot of anxiety because you don't know what is going to happen. And not everybody can deal with that anxiety. So as they are waiting, they either tend to numb that feeling of anxiety with something. And that something either happens to be alcohol, or it can even be weed. Like in her case also, she could take also weed sometimes and alcohol. Yeah, which works for a moment, but not in the long term.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that how now you are able to bring other people on board?
Exactly.
After her success?
Well, I will not say that it's not just after this case. I've worked for many years, about 18 years. There are many people who have success stories, and some of them come to share, some don't. Yeah, so she's just one of those who came, but there are many. However, what now made me to come up with Symmetria is that now there was a big demand of people who are now being referred to me. Yeah, because of course of the history I have. So now I could not like take them to places where I was employed. I had to find a place. I had to find partners. I had to seek for friends so that we can come up with a place like this. Yeah, people of similar visions, similar goals, and that's how we came up with Symmetria. Yeah.
And now, Symmetria, was it born out of this case?
Exactly. I'm saying this case was like the, I can say the pioneer. Yeah, because once we got success in this case, we had a lot of people inquiring because they learned that she went to attend support group meetings and she was sharing her story. So people were so much interested. Who is this Anthony? And where is this place? Because you see, gambling is very much underrated. People are suffering in silence. So when they heard about this case, I remember in that first month, I got 3 referrals.
Talk to somebody who is watching.
Yes.
That they're struggling with us. I don't know what they may be struggling with.
Yes.
But it could be one of the things that you have talked about. What would be your message?
Well, my message to everybody who's out there, life is unfair. And challenges are part of life. There is nobody who's going through life without a challenge. In fact, somebody told me that, Anthony, if you find that everything is going on smoothly and you have got no issue, first of all, try to lift up your hand. Just try and do like this and do like this. Make sure also you turn on your right and make sure that you are not in a coffin. Because if you are alive, you will encounter challenges. But when you encounter challenges, remember, it's not the end of life. And there are ways of how you can cope with challenges of life. Either you can handle the challenges alone, or you can seek for help. And that help is easily available. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
That is quite profound. You check whether you are in a...
in a coffin. Make sure you're not in a coffin. Yeah.
Because if you're still breathing,
yes,
challenges will be there.
Challenges will be there. We all struggle with different challenges. They might not be the same, but we all have challenges. Yeah.
You said that you recovered yourself.
Exactly.
How many years back?
That is about 22 years now. 22 years ago is when I stopped using all forms of substances. Yeah.
The reason I asked about how far back is so that people understand that it is possible to overcome it and last. Like you have recovered, you will not go back.
Exactly.
You won't relapse. That's why I've asked how far back. So 22 years is a long time.
Yeah.
That is, can we call it now, super success and confidence in somebody who might be struggling to know that it is possible to do this for the long haul.
Exactly.
Yes.
However, in the language of recovery, I don't call myself as a recovered drug addict. I still am recovering. When you say you are completely recovered, you tend to be complacent and you can become so overconfident that you can easily expose yourself to the dangers. The difference between me and the person who's still out there in the street using is because I'm self-aware. I know that if I take a drug right now, even a cigarette or cannabis or even alcohol, or even if I start gambling right now, I'm prone to excesses. So that is the self-awareness that I have. So for me, my secret is never to indulge. Even in my 22 years of success, if I take a drug today, I will be catapulted back to where I was. And you'll be surprised, is this the Tony we know? Because I will drink to excesses, I will do anything to excess. Yeah.
And what are some of the challenges that you go through as you dedicate yourself to changing the lives of these people?
Yeah, so for challenges, I'll say our name, Symmetria, means that people are equal. They are the rich and the poor. But for us, they are all equal and they need to get equal treatment. But unfortunately, there's a bigger class of people, especially those who belong to the lower class, who need help. But they cannot be helped because they don't have the finances. Like I was telling you today, I went to pick this lady from Chiromo Hospital. She does not even have change clothes. So you find that for us to provide even clothing for this kind of people, to provide food and counseling, it requires resources, which we don't have. It's only a class of people, the rich, who can afford. So we have a lot of people who need treatment, but they cannot get it because they cannot afford. And they come to us every day. So that is the number one challenge. The second challenge that we experience is that we have what a class also of our patients, especially teenagers, who need treatment, but we cannot mix them with the adults. Last month, we had a case of a 14-year-old who needed treatment. We could have done a weekend program for that teenager or even a holiday program. But our facility currently, we cannot accommodate old and the young. So that is another challenge. And they are out there. There are so many. In fact, if we can rescue these teenagers, we'll not have cases of 60-year-olds coming to us for help because that is a preventive measure. Then another challenge we are experiencing is that we have challenges in movement. This month, we received a patient from Kisii. So we had to travel all the way to Kisii to pick this patient. And you can imagine this patient was drunk. So traveling with somebody who's drunk, coming to a facility in a public vehicle, again, you see, it brings a lot of issues. So how we wish we could afford to have our own means of transportation to go and pick these patients who need help. Today I was late for this interview for 2 good hours. Why? Because for me to go to Chiromo and to pick that patient, we had to use Uber, and it took us a lot of time. So that's why I came late. So those are some of the challenges we are experiencing here at Symmetria. And also in terms of facility equipment, like modern medical facilities, couches, like nursing equipment, because we are in the process of being accredited by NHIF. And the NHIF, one of their requirements is, one, they want to make sure that you have qualified staff. So we have staff, we have doctors, we have psychologists, we have psychiatrists, but now in terms of equipment, we don't have enough equipment, like modern beds, mattresses which have Macintosh, medication, and other medical equipment. So that is one of the criteria in which they accredit facilities such as ours. So for lack of these equipment, we cannot be accredited. And yet we understand that once we are accredited, there's a huge potential of helping so many who are paying for National Hospital Insurance Fund, but cannot afford to pay for treatment charges. Yeah.
But you're making do with what you have.
Exactly. We can't complain. We can say that we are making progress with whatever we have, and we are grateful each and every day. And that's why you can hear the cases of the people we help. In fact, we feel that if we are blessed more, we will help more.
That is quite a testimony.
Yes.
And now you're using that experience to help many others here at Symmetria.
Sure.
Yeah. Would you like to, because we are signing out, would you like to say hi to Jacinta? I know she will be watching from Chicago.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Jacinta, it was a pleasure to meet you and your family. I was so impressed by the progress of your daughter. She's one of those I'm so proud with. She's doing very well, and I pray that she continues with the gains. I'm also so happy that you sent these guys to come and interview me, because now that shows that you have a lot of trust with me. Thank you so much, and may God bless you, Jacinta. Yeah.
Also say hi to the people who are watching from Chicago.
Yes, everybody who's watching from Chicago, I'll say hi. We are doing well here in Kenya. We are very hopeful. I want to assure you that success is possible in recovery. People can recover. Every day they do recover. And here at Symmetria, we do recover. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you
for your time.
Yeah.
May you continue the good work.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yes. Chicago, we are coming. Aren't we going there?
We are. Thank you. Yeah.
My name is David Muthoka. I am a nurse by profession. I retired in 2022. I'm retired but not tired, of course. And also I'm trained psychologist. I have a diploma in counseling psychology. I've worked in Bernard Hospital for over 20 years. That's where I retired. And I did a lot of things about HIV and so forth. I was dealing with the HIV patients. So in Symmetria, I'm one of the directors. And being the director, I don't just come and sit. I also do counseling. I interact with people and we see patients. And we are happy when we see them recovering. In this center, we don't just come and counsel patients and they go after 3 months or so. We also follow our clients. There is what we call aftercare. When they come, they recover, we follow them. They come after some time, they recover. Like now you can see we have a recovery patient here who's one of our security. The girl, Vivian, recovered also out of alcohol, but we followed. When during the counseling period, we found out she had a special gift of counseling. So she was out with catering, so we supported her to change the line of counseling so that we mentor her, and in the process we grow with her. And when we have opportunities, we'll employ her. That's the way to support them. And the NGOs we deal with is from any age, young, middle, and young adults. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Paul Diva. So I'm an HR professional with over 30 years experience in various industries. So I retired like 7 years ago. So when they started the center, they requested me to come on board to give them strategic and administrative support. Yeah.
So you're giving back to the society.
Giving back to the society.
Yes.
Yes.
When you see people come here with various struggles,
yes,
and they are able to overcome them,
yeah,
what kind of satisfaction does it give you? Because you know you're not working.
Yeah.
Madam said that you are retired, not tired.
Yes.
And you're able to give back to the society and see the success. What do you feel?
Yes, that's a lot of, I feel a lot of satisfaction, because one is building up the society, making sure that we're taking care of the well-being of people, not just the financial aspect, but actually making sure that people are going about their business when they are okay. Yeah.
And does addiction have age limits?
I don't think it has. In fact, if you look at the whole spectrum of the entire area of addiction, you can look at it actually affects both the young and the old. It has no, in fact, the older, the worse. Yeah.
How about gender?
Gender, you cannot put in gender. There are no boundaries on this one. In fact, now, when we used to think that the male are more addicted, or they get into more addiction. The ladies are now into drugs. Yeah.
So it cuts across.
It cuts across. Yes.
All right. Thank you. You have an interesting way to say your name.
Yeah.
It is?
Mongi Brand Gashohi. Yeah.
Not the other way as we are used to.
Not the other way.
What do you do?
I do production, music production. I do filming. I do business. I'm also an MC, upcoming MC. Yeah.
That's the package that you bring on the table.
That's my package, yeah.
Now we are here because we want to celebrate the success that has come your way, and including those who are within this region. What were you struggling with?
Alcoholic addiction and weed addiction. Yeah.
And the basic question is, how did you get introduced to these substances?
I will say peer pressure.
How old were you then?
15, 16. Yeah.
You were in high school?
Yeah, I was in high school.
And how was that first day?
It was fun. It was fun, I will say. Yeah. Then the second time, I will try to just the first high, which is unachievable. Yeah, that's how my addiction started.
At what point did you know, now this is no longer fun? This is actually a problem. It's an addiction. I need help.
I will say 2 years back. I will use my finances badly. Yeah.
To sustain that high. Were you working, or where were you getting these monies from?
Yes, I was working.
You were working. So the moment you get your pay, what would happen to it?
I would budget for my personal needs. Then the rest, I will do it on alcohol and my weed.
How did you learn about this institution?
My friend Anthony, who knows my mom, she suggested that I need to visit a rehab. And yeah, that was it. I came here.
And how was that journey, the recovery journey?
Beginning of the recovery journey, it was a bit hard. But then as time went by, ikaanza kuwa mzuri.
And you recovered.
Yeah.
You can we say that you graduated from?
Okay, yeah, I graduated, but I'm still in my recovery journey. Yeah,
And
not yet recovered fully. Yeah, I'm in the aftercare. Yeah.
So, but are you assuring us that it is possible to overcome such addictions?
It's very much possible, yeah. As you can see, there's still that peer pressure after rehab. Bado kuna hiyo peer pressure from people. People hawajui penye umetoka. They still know the alcoholic you. They still know the person who used to use weed. So they don't understand that ulikuwa program ya kuachana na hizi vitu. So they still like want to lure you back into using the drugs.
Yeah, what would you tell the society now? Because you represent very many people who have recovered, but the society is finding it difficult to reintegrate them in the society.
Okay, first I will say addiction is a disease, first of all. Na sikupenda kwa mtu kuwa addicted to drugs. Ni kama vile tu mtu anazapata malaria ama hata homa. It's also treatable. To see was stigmatized kule nje. They need help. Find ways of helping the person. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mwangi,
Asante.
for sharing your story, because it takes courage for you to share
Asante.
some of the challenges that you've gone through, and including accepting that you have been here and now you're out, you are coming out strong.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Asante.
Yeah. As those who are hooked into different substances and behaviors walk out of these gates, their story is different from when they walked in. And that is how the loss of 10 million shillings gave birth to Symmetria. This facility helps those who are struggling with various addictions. My name is Kingori Wangeshi. This has been my story right here on Tuko. Thank you so much for watching.